Bring this book. Let me start over. Today, I want to bring this book to the attention. This is Daoist skills, transformation skills. I'll read some of it. Many years ago, when I first began studying Shaolin and later Wudang martial arts, my Chinese instructors told me of various amazing stories about energetic realms of combat. These stories were both to inspire me and caution me, should I ever cross arms with another artist who was both a fighter and a sorcerer who used black magic in combat. My teachers always commented that many of the stories were their personal experiences, but it was very important to me to have my own experiences in order to confirm and validate the truth of these stories. Through the years, my study of esoteric Taoist martial arts, medicine, and magic not only confirmed the truth of my teacher's stories, but has also introduced me to several different systems of Chinese and non-Chinese mysticism and sorcery. And let's sort of look at it. Many types of magical transformation skills require the assistance of celestial immortals. So basically, that's like where you communicate with an overlord, and then they transform you. Skill of magical transformation. So this is the magic. It breaks into two categories: the magical transformation of man, and the magical transformation of external things. Because you can just transform stuff too. Transformation of man, it says seeing spirits, having visions, stopping time, dream magic, mind magic, illusionary magic, invisibility, suspended animation, walking through walls, soul travel, teleportation, bilocation, shape-shifting magic. And then the magical transformation of external things. Defense magic, healing magic, sex magic, materialization, telekinesis, contracting of the land. That's where like you move. It's like you fold space. Transmutation magic, constructing a river by drawing a line on the ground, wrapping up the heavens. Weather magic, divination magic, and corpse magic. The magical transformation of man. First, you start with clairsentience, which is literally clear feeling. Clairsentience is the ability to empathically feel at a distance, in other realms. It involves psychic perception of the senses. The ability provides the sorcerer with the capability of analyzing, perceiving, and accurately discerning the actual state of objects, people, or the current situations in all three dimensions. So you have your psychic perception, and it breaks into three. Clairsentience, which is the clear feeling, clairaudience, which is clear hearing, and clairvoyance, clear seeing. Clairsentience breaks down the ability to empathically feel at a distance or in other realms, and psychometry. Clairaudience breaks into the ability to hear certain events that are currently happening in the extra-physical realms. Also transferring thoughts. Clairvoyance, the ability to see certain events that are currently happening within the extra-physical realm. You have precognition, intuition of the future, and retrocognition, which is recollection of past lives. So then it begins to tell you, what you do is you begin to focus on yourself meditating, and you begin to energetically imprint yourself into the environment that you're in. I'm not going to obviously read it all, but I'm just going to go through this to show you that this is a very fascinating and interesting topic. Psychometry. Yin Tang, that's the third eye. Used for energetically forming pictures, so that's when you're using your imagery, your imagination to make images. The middle Dantian, which is the heart, used for energetically perceiving events through inspiration, usually acoustically. Excuse me. Yellow cord is your solar plexus, used for energetically intuiting. You really can use your solar plexus to scan environments and such. This is going to break into 6 categories for clairsentience. And you would be like, well, why does this matter? Because you have to build your senses into the body that you're creating to transform into. Medical clairvoyance allows you to see diseases and illnesses within the human body. Oh, I got the hiccups. Traveling clairvoyance. The ability to see current events, objects, and people that are far away. Spiritual clairvoyance. The ability to perceive energetic and spiritual realms of existence. X-ray clairvoyance lets you see through walls. Spiritual clairvoyance, the ability to experience visions and transcend time and space. Now, they call the corpus callosum the mud ball. Maybe because that's what it looks like. And oddly enough, I had a friend that lived down at the end of the street, and a friend of mine was staying with them, and I went there to a big party they had, and I took from my garden out here, I made a mud ball out of, and I wrapped it up in some bandanas of my woods that was out here in the front. And I took the mud ball and I swam to the bottom of their pond, and I exchanged that dirt with dirt from there. I filled up the bottom of the pond dirt that I pulled up and brought it back and switched it out and made like an energetic connection that way, which worked. And you see what he's doing here is expanding his Wei Chi field by projecting Chi into the future. These are different techniques to build up your energy bodies. And once you get your energy body high enough, you can start to, like here, they move it slightly into the future and bring it into the past. So you really get that sense of being in the present moment, which is where you need to operate, or you die. Illusionary magic. He was telling a story in here about, I'll read the story. Another example of illusionary magic happened to a colleague of mine years ago when traveling through India. While witnessing a private demonstration, my friend secretly filmed an Indian master who was performing the famous rope trick for select individuals and potential disciples. In this magic trick, the master extends his energy to his assistant, in this case a boy of 9, who holds onto a rope as it magically lifts off the ground and ascends straight into the air about 14 feet. The young boy then releases the rope and is suspended by the master's power, and he walks in the air above the ground, much to the crowd's amazement. The young boy returns to the rope, and it slowly descends to the ground. The boy then grabs a small basket and passes it around for tourists and potential students that they can offer money to the master to show their appreciation. During the performance, the onlookers are not allowed to take any pictures or films. Oh, however, at this particular demonstration, my colleague had smuggled in a small camera and filmed the entire event. Upon returning to the hotel and reviewing the contents of the film, what he observed was shocking. He saw the master sitting motionless in the lotus posture on the old mat. The young boy was standing next to the master with a pile of rope laying coiled in front of both of them. The crowd, however, was excited and began pointing to the rope and then into the sky, covering their mouths and gasping in amazement. The colleague continued to watch the film as it showed the crowd followed what they thought was the ascended rope and boy walking in the air. The crowd then followed what they thought was the boy and the rope returned back to the earth. What actually happened was the master and the little boy stood motionless. As the master projected an image of the illusion and the experience onto the tourist. Although this was a form of mass deception, like in the previous example in China, the skill required to perform the projected illusion requires many years of advanced magical training and invisibility. This is a good one too. In China, it is said that a Daoist sorcerer succeeded in mastering the skill of invisibility. He or she would not only vanish in front of other people, but even the earthbound spirits could not know where the sorcerer was. Therefore, it was said that no disaster could befall such a sorcerer. As a magical transformation skill, the skill of invisibility was systematically developed and incorporated into the Daoist magical practice during the Jing Dynasty 265 through 420 AD. According to the ancient document written records in the Book of Master Who Embraces Simplicity, when asked about this magical skill, the author replied, "There are 5 types of strange magical skills, including invisibility." A man was seen sitting there but vanished when he stood up. But if he shows off this ability to do so in the mortal world, it might cause unfavorable consequences. Since the skill cannot benefit his health, he should not conduct them casually, except in order to avoid disaster in critical situations during chaos of war. Because one of the masters became invisible in front of the emperor, and the emperor immediately ordered him to be killed, and he transformed the other guards all to look like the emperor so they didn't know who to kill. And he got out of there and he had to stay in hiding for the rest of his life. The observer, the act of seeing. The observer, the sorcerer who is seeing, or the observing is the act of seeing, and then the item being observed. See, most things operate within a triangle. Invisibility obtained through magical talismans. Invisibility obtained through magical drugs. Suspended animation. Walking through walls. Soul travel. This is just a basic. I just want to go through this book to show it in its pictures for anyone interested. This guy's going to turn into shapeshifting with the help of a deity. A lot of times they transform into the deities they invoke. And it's like a video game. They become that entity and then do whatever it is they have to do with that entity's abilities and then transform back into human. He's got a wall of magic. He's pulling out a monster. Create a bean man. They could turn these little paper horses and beans. Beans would turn into warriors, and paper horses would turn into horses, and then they'd have cavalry. Oh yeah. A lot of this is because there's male and female energy. They use the two to, like, I use the word trampoline jump. You know how you get that boosted extra jump when you like jump that third time and you get the right frequency that it propels you way into the sky? It's something like that with female and male energy together. Anyway, this is just a taste. I hope you enjoyed. If you want this book, I'll send you a link.